Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry that I am a smidge late this morning for our Lunch with Lori time. I apologize. My sister called, and I haven't talked to her in actually a couple of weeks, and she was on her way to an appointment, and the time was running over just a little bit. So anyway, I apologize for my delay. Thanks for being patient. And I am here this morning in St. Louis, Missouri, and it is Tuesday, April 23rd. Exciting news in the Stampin' Up! World. The clearance rack was updated at midnight last night. There's several items from the holiday mini catalog that have been added there. So if you are interested in some holiday deals, then this is your chance to get some great stuff. And then this is the last week for the last chance products. The things that are retiring will go away on April 30th, and the new catalog starts on May 1st. So I'm excited about that. And I also wanted to tell you that I will not be live next Tuesday at our usual time for Lunch with Lori. We won't be having our usual class. I will be in Mexico on the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip, and I'm looking forward to that. My husband and I are traveling this weekend for a soccer league. We'll be in Northern Illinois, and then we get home Sunday night, probably around 9 because there's an afternoon game. And then we will leave Tuesday morning around 11:30. Our flight leaves for Cancun. So I'm super excited about that, and I will post pictures next week on my Facebook page. So be sure to check that out. Each day I'll post an update on what we had going on there. My camera's a little higher today because there were some things that I wanted to show you on the cards that we're going to make today. And today's cards are going to be all about backgrounds, coloring backgrounds, and different ways to do that. Last night was my monthly card club, and we talked about watercoloring, we talked about using a brayer, and we talked about a spritzer. So I'm going to show you three cards that we made last night. I'm switching up the colors a little bit so I can show something a little bit different. But we're going to show the brayer. We're going to use the brayer. We're going to use the watercolor, the aqua painter, the water painters, and we're going to use the spritzers. So let's get started. The first one I'm going to show you is the brayer. And the first project that we made last night, which we're not going to make today in our class, we made an ombre background with 3 different shades of purple. I will show you this later at another time. I just want to show all 3 basic ideas today. So you can look forward to that later. We used Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, and Gorgeous Grape, and that turned out super fun. All right, I have the Countryside Blossoms, I believe is what it's called, embossing folder, and you can see it. Any embossing folder will work for what I'm going to show you. The Stampin' Up! Brayer was released. We had a brayer years ago, and it was discontinued, and it was more of a rubber. It was rubber, or was it? Yeah. This one is a little bit more firm, and it's just a roller. It has these 2 stick-outs, is what I called them last night. I don't know technical terms. 2 things about that is that if you have them pointed down, it will actually sit the wheel off of your paper so that your wheel doesn't touch and get ink all over your work surface. There's a fuzz on there. I'm trying to get off. Sorry. But you want, when you're rolling your ink to get the ink on the brayer, you want to make sure that those are pointed up. Otherwise, they will drag right across your ink pad and ruin your ink pad. So let's get started. And this one is a fun technique, and like I said, it can be done with any embossing folder. So if you don't have this embossing folder at home, no worries. You could try this with any embossing folder that you have. But I will say this one is on the last chance list, and it is on sale. It is at a discounted price. So keep that in mind. It's on sale until next Tuesday. My original sample for this card, I used one of the new in colors called, oh goodness, not Coastal Cabana, Summer Splash. So I used that. It's kind of a turquoisey teal color. And then I made one using Lost Lagoon, which is a little bit darker, and you probably can't fully tell the difference between those 2, but the 2 greens are different. I don't like the camera being so far away, but with one of my projects, I want to be able to show everything. Except I've got a shadow that I don't like. Let's try it this way. See if that helps us. All right, so the one thing, you're going to take your ink pad and your brayer, and you're going to run your brayer across your ink pad. And you want to go the same direction until your ink pad or your brayer is full of ink. And unfortunately, you probably can't tell because it's red and so you can't see. Now, we're going to take our paper that's been embossed, and we're going to very, very, very gently, and this is the key words here, very gently, run the brayer across our embossed piece. All the way across. Then we're going to re-ink it until we get the desired color. You can start off. You don't want to do it too hard because your brayer will go down in the spaces. And right here, I got a little bit off on the edge. I said last night, it kind of looks a little more vintage that way if you've got some color. And so that is one of the other new in colors that will be released next week, and it's called Peach Pie. It's a nice orangey peach color, and these colors will dry lighter than what they are on when you do it at first. When I did the green last night first, I was a little bit alarmed at how dark it was. So that's it. That is completely it. The embossed raised part is the orange, and then the end piece, and you might have to practice a little. I was a little bit in a hurry, so I did get some on the thing, but you don't really have, there's no right or wrong. You can do color, you can do whatever color you want, and it's way easier than coloring all that with a crayon or a marker or a blend and that kind of thing. So, all right, so I just have a basic white note card, if you like the note cards, they come note cards and envelopes. Those prices are going up next week, so if you like those, now is your chance to get that. All right, so I'm just gonna glue our panel, our embossed panel. This is just gonna be a note card, a simple note card. Last night our cards were a little more simple for my card club because I wanted the technique to be the focus and not the actual fanciness of the cards. And there you have it, a fun note card, and then the three colors: Peach Pie, Summer Splash, and Lost Lagoon. And actually, I put that on upside down because, okay, peeling off, you should peel the back piece away. Hopefully I didn't stick it too hard. There we go. I stuck it upside down because those flowers are all going upward. I thought they went both directions, but they don't, so keep that in mind if you use this embossing folder. And there is not even one piece of ribbon on my table today, so you do not have to watch me suffer through that. All right, there we go. Now we've got our note card. All right, then I want to show you the water painters. The water painters are 3 brushes. It's a set of 3. There's a fine tip. Let me see. Put something dark underneath it so you can actually see it. There's a fine tip. There you go. There's a medium tip. And these are great for coloring things. You can color flowers, give anything really a watercolor look. But for this class, we used the big fat paintbrush, and we made a background. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna get my card base ready. This is also one of the new in colors, sneak peek. This is called Shy Shamrock, and it is a super fun green that is perfect. I think it's gonna be a great Christmas color, but I think it'll also be a great St. Patrick's Day color next year as well. All right, so I have a black panel. I'm gonna set that aside. And for the words today, I'm using the Just Wanted to Say dies. When I send things for my card club, and these are what the dies look like. When I send things home for people who aren't here for my card club, I want to make sure that they're successful. So if you live in Phoenix, Arizona or Sacramento, California, then your card kits, you are able to do everything at home and not have to have 72 colors of ink. So that's always helpful. So for this one, I used die cut words so that my people who aren't here could be successful. And my cards last night were all black and white, so they could use whatever ink color that they wanted. All right, so to use the water painter, we're going to take the ink pad, and you may have done this in years past, where you squish the ink into the lid, squish it like this, and get some ink on the lid. Unfortunately, our new ink pads are so sturdy that they don't squish as well, and this is not enough ink. So what I'm going to do to get more ink is I'm going to take one of our clear blocks. Where did I put my clear block? Oh, it's right here next to me. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm going to take my clear block and I'm just going to squish it onto the ink pad. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to get some color. And we're going to take our water painter and the one thing about the water painters, and this was the craziest thing to me. Everybody knows lefty loosey, righty tighty, except when you use water painters and you're going to go righty to loosey. So you turn it to the right. That took me forever yesterday. I pulled the whole thing apart. It came apart. It was terrible. So you open the barrel and you just put water in there. Just regular old water as right out of your tap. It doesn't have to be fancy water. And there, I started to do it to the right. It doesn't go. You're going to turn it to the left to tighten it. All right, there we go. So we're going to squeeze some of the water, and there's a flat side that says push. We're going to push right there, and the water will come down into the barrel, and it'll go into our brush. And once it's in there, we're going to go, see, when you do this, you can see that it's not very liquidy. We're going to get some more water. There we go. We're going to get our water, and we're going to squish it around on we're going to pick up the ink that way. Then we're just going to make a background on our paper, and we're just going to brush that on there. And you can do it however you want. You can kind of see the water moving around. Go back and pick up some more. If your ink doesn't move like that, you probably don't have enough water. So just squeeze your water into your brush a little more. Get it as much as you want. Now this is pretty wet. At this point, we could do one of two things. You can let it dry. You can just let it sit, and it's going to dry for, I'm going to say a good 5 minutes, probably, just to let that water dry before you go on with anything else. Or you can use your heat tool, the heat tool that you use for embossing. You can use the heat to do that, and then use it and go from there. I'm going to set this out of the way so I don't get that all over everything. I'm going to sit mine aside to dry, but I also have one that I already did and it already dried, so it's good to go. And as you can see, the background looks different every single time. I use Shy Shamrock on both of these, and this one is still wet and this one is dry. I've used the watercolor paper, which soaks up that water nicely and it doesn't buckle. Like this one is flat, so I can go ahead and use that on my card. If you use regular basic white cardstock, it's going to ripple and not work as well. All right, so now I want to show you really quick how to clean your brush. And I just take some paper towels, and you can just brush right across your paper towel until you don't see that green color or whatever color that you're using anymore. I still have green on my brush, on the bristles, but it's not coming off. So just do that until you don't see the color anymore, and then you're good to go. And that won't hurt anything. So it's super easy to clean. This is going to be a happy birthday card. So I made one yesterday, and it was pink, and it was the actual it's called Petunia Pop. It's also one of the new in colors. So this one's going to be another in color, the Shy Shamrock. So let's go ahead. I've done the bubble letters in black, and then I have happy and birthday in in white. And we're gonna put these onto the front of our card. All right, if you have seen the new in colors, which one is your favorite? There is not one this time that I don't like. I think they're all very pretty and I can't wait to use them actually. All right, I'm gonna pull the happy off, but I have to poke out those middle pieces. And those are gonna stick to my fingers. I am actually home alone today. For those of you who know, my husband works at home. Usually he's banished to the bedroom office. And I tell him he's got to fill up his teacup before I do my video. And, you know, he is all kinds of threatened. And today I'm home alone and I got my stuff ready and it was super kind of relaxing. I didn't have to stress about him being here and is he going to come out and, I don't know, flush a toilet or anything. No. All good. All right, so there's our happy. And just wanted to say, guys, have a bubble outline and then a more fine print word that highlights on top. You can use the bubble or you don't have to. You could just go with the fine print. I just like to give it a little bit of dimension. My one yesterday with the brayer, we used a white bubble with the gorgeous grape letters. So many color combinations you can use with those. I have adhesive sheet on the back of this. I did not say that. Adhesive sheet so that the letters will actually stick, because putting glue on these little skinny letters is a bear. And we don't have time for that today. So it's much easier to just put the adhesive sheet on the back and then run it through and make it into a sticker. Although I should have thought about these little pieces because they're going to be the bane of my existence today. I don't want them on my card. I guess my finger is better than my card. All right. Goodness gracious. Nothing's ever easy, is it? All right. And then they just fit in there. I start on one side and I go to the other. Oh, I still got one more little in my loop of my Y. There we go. All right. Whew, thank goodness. All right. Now, to attach this to my front card front, I'm going to use the mini black dimensionals because my piece is black, and so I don't want those dimensionals to show. I don't want the white to be a standout so that people will know. They'll just see that it's popped up. So I'm going to use those along there. All right, let's go ahead and glue this piece down. And if you're wondering, my piece that I set aside probably would have been dry enough to use. It's not as dry as the one I'm using, of course, since that's been sitting there for a while. Actually, since early this morning. But let it sit a good 10 minutes before you decide to use one that you've watercolored. Safety first would be my advice. Well, let's go ahead and put this on the card. And then the word would be the last piece. Dimensional backs. We cleaned up our back patio the other day, and I had swept off our back patio, and then there was leaves and they went out onto the driveway. I opened the gate and I just pushed the leaves out onto the driveway, and my husband started laughing and goes, huh, look at that. There was a dimensional back. I don't know how it got onto the back patio, nor do I know why it was in the leaves in the back patio, but it was there, and it was in my broom when I swept it onto the driveway. It's a little bit crazy. But it's funny that all the boys in my house know what dimensional backs are and how sticky they are. All right, so here we have Petunia Pop and Shy Shamrock. I think those are both awesome, awesome colors. All right, last technique, we're gonna use the spritzer. If you don't have a spritzer bottle, they come in a 2-pack. We've used them in the past for glimmer paint, which is super fun, and also for regular ink. Today we're going to use regular ink, and you can use any ink refill. And I pulled out Melon Mambo, and you're going to fill your spritzer with regular old rubbing alcohol. I literally pulled this out of our medicine cabinet. And so I've got rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to pour it into my spritzer. And this is why I wanted it to be a little higher, because I'm going to put this foil pan underneath here to catch my stuff. So you're going to get a little shine, and now I won't spill this all over my table either. You're going to pour alcohol into your spritzer, and I'm going to say about 2/3 full. Just pour it in there. It's probably a little over 2/3, but that's good. And then we're going to take the ink refill, and we're going to put, I'm going to say 10 drops directly into the alcohol. All right. Now, I'm not sure if this is a legit do it all the time kind of thing, but I would say don't shake it. If you shake it, then all of this kind of backs up into this top cap area. So the best way to do it is just roll it between your hands like this to get that ink and the dropper ink or the alcohol mixed together. All right, so we have our pink ink, although the ink did kind of settle. See, this is what happens when you shake it. It comes back. Actually, let me show you that. When you shake it, it goes up into the top. So just keep shaking it, stirring it like this. Sounds like a little blender type thing. All right. Then we're going to put our watercolor paper into, I'm going to put it in the tray just so I can see where it's spritzing. Now you can do it farther away or you can do it closer up. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to make sure you know where your sprayer is so that you're not squirting out into the wild, which might have happened last night with my ladies. And I'm going to go a little bit farther away and I'm just going to spritz it. And you can see that there's splatter. Here, let me pick that up. You can see the splatter. All right, and the closer you get, then the more colored it is. All right, now we don't have to wait forever for this one to dry because it's alcohol. It is the alcohol in the bottle. So literally, by the time that I pull it out, and you can do that as much as you want. If you want a little deeper color, you can go a little closer and have it closer. This one from yesterday, I did Azure Afternoon, and I did it once, just like that, and then I actually added about 5 more drops to make the darker colors that are on the top. So you can do that however you want. You could cover half of it and spritz half of it with pink, and you cover the other half with a different color. The one thing to note, the less alcohol and the more ink you use, the more concentrated your color, and then the more, if you want it to be a richer color, you want to do that. If you want it to be a soft, subtle color, then start with fewer drops and you can keep adding more. But again, the ink dries much quicker with the alcohol. All right, so this is dry. I can rub my hand across that. There's no ink on it, and we will put that together. And this one's just going to be a celebrate. I could have put a little more on that side, but that's okay. Everyone is different. Looks a little graffiti-like. I kind of like that. I only have one word to separate the letters for, so that'll help our chaos a little bit. You don't have to watch me pull out all of those little picky pieces. Okay. And again, several of our cards from Club last night were very similar, and it was a matter of I wanted to show the technique, and sometimes showing a technique, you want that to be your focus. So we had a lot of black and white cards, and I had all my ink refills out, and people could choose whatever color that they wanted, which is always kind of fun, getting to choose what you want to do. All right. A lot of times if you pull one end, then the pieces in the middle will come out as well. There we go. I cannot believe that April is just about over. It's crazy to me, the new catalog. If you live in the United States and you don't have a regular demonstrator that you work with and you want a new catalog, please let me know. I'm happy to get one of those in the mail to you so that you can see that. Also, I'm going to include the link to join my email list. My email list is where I tell everyone everything that's going on, whether it's Stampin' Up news or it's my local classes or my classes to go. If you want to know what's in the what's going on in the Stampin' world, please join my email list, and I will get you added there, and we can start stamping together. I am actually getting ready to announce a birthday special. My birthday is on Saturday, and I'm getting ready to offer a birthday sale. So make sure you sign up for my email list so you can find out about that. And I will include the link on that when the video is done. All right, now we have our Celebrate. And again, we're going to use the black dimensionals because those will be hidden. I do love bright color, any bright color actually. I'm always happy with bright colors and black. I love bright colors with black. So I'm gonna cut a tiny little dimensional piece and put on my C right here on the end. But I can't think of a bright color. I like black and yellow, black and melon mambo, black and lemon lime twist, black and parakeet party, black and purple, black and orange. Like any black and turquoise. I think any bright color with black is always a great combination. And then, you know what, let's bling this up. I got some bling here. I got a package of rhinestones that need to be used. So let's go ahead. If I had blends handy, I would go ahead and color these with my blends. But since I'm kind of doing this on the fly, I'm just gonna add some rhinestones so there's some sparkle as well. So today I've shown you 3 different background techniques. We use the brayer. Let's see. Where should I go with this one? I branched out and I thought, oh, I'll try. There we go. Always use odd numbers, and I usually use 3, and I threw myself off. So we use the spritzer to make the pink background, and it feels, you can actually kind of feel a little bit of the texture. So we have a Celebrate. We use our brayer to color an embossing folder. And then you can also make that a background if you so choose, and that's this one. We didn't make that today, but we did the background for that one. We did a watercolor wash with our aqua painter. And then the one that I did not show actually was the one we use watercolor pencils. And watercolor pencils are kind of their own thing, and I decided it was best to wait and show those at a separate time. But I do thank you so much for joining the class today. As always, the class is free. And if you place a $35 order on my website, I will send you the pieces. And if you place a $50 order, I will send you actually probably a package of rhinestones to bling up bling up your projects. Like I said, next week I'll be out of town. I will be on the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip. So I look forward to telling you all about that when I get back. Please note that, and I said it a few minutes ago about my email list, I am getting ready to announce a birthday special on my email. So make sure you've joined that to find out what that is. Thank you for joining me. I will see you back in 2 weeks, which I believe is about May 7th. And by then the new catalog will be live, and I can't wait to show you some more things, including more of the in colors and some of the new suites and products. Have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you when I get back from Mexico. Thanks a lot.